Happiness through curiosity on TRS Clips. We had Rajarshi Nandi on the show, who's become like a fan favorite
Okay.
now because of the Tantra podcast.
Yes.
What a guy.
Incredible.
Yeah. If any of the audience members have not checked out those episodes, my God, you should go check it out. Give me a whole different aspect on Hinduism.
Haha.
It was very Tantra centric.
Okay.
Now, parallelly, what I've understood about Hinduism is that it's very wide, lots of different practices,
Yeah.
lots of different paths.
Yeah.
And Tantra seems to be the quickest path towards the end goal of Hinduism, which is liberation or moksha or nirvana.
Yeah.
Going beyond your ego,
Mhm.
enlightenment as people.
Yeah.
At least from what I've learned on the show.
Okay.
Tantric practices seem to be the swiftest, most intense, possibly also kind of dangerous path.
Mm-hmm.
Now, parallelly, when I spoke to Acharya Prashant, and we had a historian called Mohsin Raza Khan on the show.
Okay.
And these guys spoke about how the first version of Hinduism was Vedic. It was much more about havans. And it said, according to historical conjecture, that Krishna existed and the Mahabharata happened at around 3000 BC.
Uh-huh.
Like around that time.
Yeah.
Acharya Prashant said that the practices that happen today in modern day Hinduism, where you go to temples, where you pray to murtis,
Yeah.
these are tantric practices.
Okay.
So I'm a little confused about this, because if Tantra is the most advanced and fastest path to growth, is it a relatively new practice?
Uh-huh.
Has it been developed recently, or is it an ancient practice that's refound?
Yeah.
What's the ancient identity of Hinduism?
It's a deep question, and I'll give you a landscape view and give you a portrait view.
Sure.
Chalega?
Yeah.
The landscape view, firstly, let's just touch on the point that you made that Tantra is the fastest way. Okay. Or the most, fastest way is what you said.
Is it also the fastest way to material growth?
We'll come to it.
Okay.
See, now your BeerBiceps. Okay? There are 3 body types, as we know. Ectomorph,
Mesomorph.
mesomorph, endomorph. Okay? Now, ectomorph has difficulty gaining a muscle. Mesomorph has difficulty shedding fat. And endomorph is the robust body.
Meso is the robust, endo is the difficulty
Fine.
shedding.
So see, your BeerBiceps, I am banking. So you tell me. Right? So different body types have different tendencies and therefore require different training.
And different diets.
Different amounts of rest, different forms of conditioning, massage and so on.
Right.
It's different. Right? So in the same way, our minds are also different. So for some, Tantra might be the fastest path.
Gotcha.
For some, Bhakti might be the fastest path. For some, study of the scriptures, Jnana and Dhyana might be the fastest path. But see, ultimately, and Krishna speaks about this in the Bhagavad Gita as well. He uses this beautiful phrase when talking about these different paths. He says, one who sees them as one, he is the one who truly sees. Saf pashyati, yaf pashyati, sa pashyati. The one who sees this as part of a continuum is the one who truly sees. Yeah. So that hopefully answers that question, which is the fastest path. It's more based on your conditioning. Now, to go on to the broader landscape, what is Hinduism? How did it evolve? And where are we now? So Hinduism, firstly, Sanatan Vedic Dharma comes from the Vedas. Yeah, Vedas literally come from the root word vidya, knowledge. Okay? A few thousand years ago, was a great Rishi Acharya, whom we often call Bhagwan himself. Bhagwan Vedvyas. Vedvyas is the title. His name was Sri Krishna Dvaipayana. That was his name. Vedvyas ka jo naam tha, birth name. Krishna Dvaipayana.
Not to be confused with the Krishna?
Not to be confused with Krishna. Bhagwan Shri Krishna. So there are different people who have lived, who have had the name Krishna. Bhagwan Shri Krishna is one. I mean, he's Bhagwan. That's why we say Bhagwan. He's got all of the attributes that we would want to desire or that we are attracted to, all attractive. Bhagavan Shri Krishna. But one of Draupadi's names was also Krishna, dark skinned. And one Ved Vyasa's original name was Krishna Dvaipayana, the one who is dark skinned or darker shaded in appearance, as well as born on a island, Dvaipayana. When Ved Vyasji was manifest on this earth, he realized that a lot of the Vedas need to be structured, need to be compiled, and otherwise they are at risk of getting lost. So the whole body of knowledge known as Vedas was compiled by him into 4 Vedas. Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Samaved, Atharva Ved. These 4 Vedas. Each of the 4 Vedas have their own constituent parts. Yeah, Aranyakas, Brahmanas, mantras, and so on, which we have previously also spoken about. It's very simply Upasana Kand, which are hymns, Karma Kand, which is the practice, Havan practice, and Gyan Kand, which are the Upanishads. Yeah. Now, what was practiced when? When Sri Krishna was manifest on this planet, he had a discussion with Arjuna on the Kurukshetra battlefield as part of the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna started talking about karma. And when Arjuna was talking about karma, it was meaning karma kand. Yeah, i.e. the Havan practice, which was prevalent at that period of time. But Bhagavan Shri Krishna said, you are doing the karma kand, but do you know why you're doing it? What does that mean? And how you can take the principles of karma kand, which we have just discussed about quantum results, and apply it into your own life. That's where the karma yoga concept came. That yoga means union. Union through your karma is karma yoga. So that when we talk about the historicity of it, there's definitely an evolution that Bhagavan Shri Krishna introduced, where he said karma is not just what havan you do, but absorbing the principles of that in your day-to-day life. Yeah. Then if you see, the Hindu concept of time is circular and divided broadly into 4 parts. I don't want to say quarters because different streams say different periods last for different amounts of time, but 4 parcels. Yeah. Satyug, Dwapar Yug, Treta Yug, and Kali Yug. Now we are currently in Kali Yug. In Kali Yuga, the ability to be able to undertake Havan, Karma Kand is limited. So therefore, a more concise version of those practices are recommended. The most concise version of those practices comes from a text known as Kali Santarana Upanishad. Okay, Kali Yuga. San means total. Tarana means overcoming, and Upanishad we already know are the philosophical texts that are in the Vedas. Yeah, Kali San Tarana Upanishad. When it was compiled by Bhagavan Ved Vyas, he had also compiled this Upanishad. It's in Kali Yuga, the mantra uchchar is sufficient to take you beyond. You don't need to do all of these practices, and that's where we have the reference of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay? So if practices develop for the purpose of evolution, spiritual evolution in Kali Yuga, mantra uchchar is sufficient. Now, according to my understanding, and I'm not a tantric expert, but obviously having a landscape view of Hinduism, we understand these different, understand the different branches, at least at a superficial level. Yantra and Tantra all have important meaning. Yeah. Mantra is the collection of words with depth that allows us to transcend our mind. Man, mind. Tra is short for Trayate, which means to transcend. Manaha Trayate iti mantra. That which helps us transcend the mind is mantra. Mantra, when visualized in a form, creates a yantra. yantra which is a tool. So I haven't conducted this experiment myself. I've seen images of it. I don't know if these images are, as in I don't know the circumstances in which these experiments were conducted, but someone conducted an experiment where they placed a tonoscope which maps sound waves over the chanting of Om. And the shape, the diagram that it created was a Shri Yantra.
Wow, shit.
ठीक है?
Explain what a Shri Yantra is to the audience though.
Shri Yantra, each of these points are just podcasts in themselves.
Yeah.
Shri Yantra is, I think, to tie it to our earlier discussions in the podcast, is the manifestation vehicle where divine energy can make things happen.
It's a symbol that contains a lot of power.
It's a geometric diagram. If you look at it visually, it's a geometric diagram, as all yantras are. It's a geometric diagram, but the specific purpose of that diagram is manifestation. And manifestation, not just material manifestation, but manifestation in here, where through engagement with that yantra, we can unlock the recesses of our minds.
So you're saying in the tonograph, yeah. Tonograph? Okay. So you're saying in the tonograph, what was drawn out was a sound representation of an
the Om chant.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Now, I think, you should not take everything that you've seen or heard online at face value. I think it would be really valuable to conduct that experiment and see what shapes emerge. For example, I'll give you another example. In South India, in Karnataka, you have temples of dark granite. Yeah, in the interior. So in Hampi also there are temples of dark granite in interior. I think there's a place called Allahbadia. There are also temples with pillars of dark granite. Those pillars have very specific shapes to them. They are rings almost, If you look at it from the side angle, it would just look quite jagged, but jagged with rings. Now, if you look at that and you record something on your phone and you see the shapes that come, they're very similar in form. So there is a theory that each of those pillars are representative of the energy with which that temple or that deity has been established. So even the pillars represent the sound form. So anyway, to come back to Tantra, you have mantra, which is the collection of chants. You have the yantra, which is the tool, and Tantra is the utilization of the tool. How do you utilize it? Say, for example, now I have this cup. If I hold it upside down, I'm utilizing it incorrectly. But if I hold it right and I use it to drink, then I'm utilizing it correctly. Technique. So the technique is the path of Tantra from a broad level.
You said Tra is short for?
Trayate.
Which means beyond, going beyond.
To transcend.
Tan is body.
Could be. Yeah. Physical, anything that's physical. So to transcend.
Transcending the physical.
Yeah. And you can utilize the physical also to transcend.
Through Hatha Yoga.
And there are many practices. See, in Tantra, there are many practices. Hatha Yoga is one, breath control is one, visualization is one. There are also sexual practices that were, when the colonists came into India, they were like, oh my God, how can this be part of your religion? But there are practices. And unfortunately now, our obsession with that sexual angle of it means that we are only looking at, that is what Tantra is. That's why people, oh wow, I want that.
I want tantric sex.
Yeah, exactly. But it's much more than that.
I have so much to say about Tantra in general. So fascinated by it, man. I'm meditating regularly, but I won't be surprised if I get more tantric information through the show this way. I feel that knowledge is finding me.
Yeah.
And through me, it's finding the audience probably.
Yeah. And you've had so many different speakers. Audience members connect with some speakers more than others, right? So for the audience, some message will resonate, is the message for them. Yeah, someone who comes with a very deep heart of bhakti, some people will be very drawn to them. Some people who comes with a very rational, intellectual perspective, people will be drawn to that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just an explorer.
Haan.
Banjara.
Me too.
Yeah.
Both of us.
Yeah. Finding life.
Yeah.
Still trying to understand what's my exact path.
Hmm.
So if you enjoy this video, subscribe to TRS Clips for more.